Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to Algebra 1, Chapter 7, Section 2, and this is actually Take 2. I was so happy doing the problem, and I got this really complicated answer, and I thought, man, they really gave them a hard one for to introduce the concept. Went back and looked at the problem. I had done the problem on the board right. It was not the right problem. So step 1, write the right problem down. So anyway, what I was going to tell you is talk about the calculator with these again and what this is. So this is called Systems of Linear Equations, which is fancy math talk for not graphing just one line on a piece of paper, but two. And the answer is where they intersect or where they cross. And I told you that the way I taught you in the last tape, people don't really do, because if you do it on a piece of graph paper, you could be wrong. It might look like it's 1, but really it's 0.99. Do you see? So nobody really does that. And I want you to be really, really good at using your calculator to do these because on the SAT, the ACT, college entrance exams, you can do this. Like if there are two equations, then they can be equations you don't actually know how to do. But if you can put it in your calculator and find where they intersect, then your calculator will tell you the answer. It's not cheating. They allow you to use these calculators, so it's just really important you get good at this. So like the ones we're going to do today, you'll have these in college. College algebra, you will have to do this. And you will have to show the work that you know how to do it without your calculator. But you need to do it on your calculator too, because you want to make sure you're right. It's a way to check your answers before you turn in your test. That way you know you're right and you didn't make some dumb mistake like I just did, writing down the wrong problem. Doing a great job on the wrong problem. See, it all worked out good that I did the wrong problem. Alright, this is the correct problem. So I have these two lines. How you're going to do this, I'm going to show you how to do it again, then how to do it on your calculator. See, calculator way. Alright, so this is how you do it. You take your two equations and write them next to each other. Don't write them underneath. Write one next to the other one. And then we have a beauty contest. And what we are doing is we're going to pick one of these four variables. It can be x or y, it doesn't matter. It can be from this equation or that, it doesn't matter. You'll get the right answer either way. But I'm lazy, so I want to pick the one that looks the easiest to get by itself. That's negative, that looks complicated. That one looks good. That has a 2, that looks a little complicated. That one looks alright. These numbers are bigger than those numbers. I'm going to let y be the beauty contest winner. Here she comes. Miss Algebra. She won. Okay, when you do these problems for homework, I want you to write a crown over the beauty contest winner. So I know, if I'm looking at your work, which one you picked. Alright, now, because y won, y needs to get by itself. Why is it not alone? It's got a minus x. What's the opposite? Plus x. What I do to one side? Oh, I don't need to write this in blue. I'm going to try to keep my colors separate. It will help. You see what I'm doing. So there's my opposite, those cancel out, so y equals x plus 1. Now, that's what y equals. Here's a y here. They're the same y because it's where they intersect. So I circle this every time I do this stuff because it keeps me organized, and I draw a line up to that y because I'm going to substitute this in for that y. So now, I'm going to write that down. 2x, now instead of y I'm going to write plus x plus 1 equals negative 2. See how I put that in for y? Now I have an equation with just an x. I can solve for it by gathering up my terms. Woo! Stowing away the time. Gotta dance. 2x plus x is 3x plus 1 equals negative 2, minus 1 minus 1, 3x equals negative 3, divide by 3, divide by 3, x equals negative 1. So that is the first part of my answer. I'm getting an ordered pair, and the first thing, the x, is going to be negative 1. Now how do I get the y? Well, I circle what x equals, and I draw a line up to this y, whoops, that's what x equals, up to this x, and substitute it in. So now, instead of putting x, I'm going to put -1. So I have -1. See, there's a negative and there's another negative. Plus y equals 1. Two negatives make a positive. 1 plus y equals 1. -1 minus 1, y equals 0. So that's the rest of my answer. And this ordered pair is where they intersect. Now, I would check down my calculator. But I'm getting this ink all over me. But that's how you do it. All right, let's do it again. Beauty contest. Da-da! That x is by far superior to everything else. He gets a crown. All right. So we're going to get x by itself. It has a -4y, so we do plus 4y. No, equals plus 4y. Those cancel out. This is kind of dying. I'm going to try for another one. So x equals 4y minus 1. I circle it and draw a line to that x and substitute it in. So I have 2 times 4y minus 1, that came from there, and I have to put it in parentheses because this 2 goes times all of it, plus 2y equals 3. I draw my distributive property arrows. 8y minus 2 plus 2y equals 3. Gather up your terms. This plus that is 10y minus 2 equals 3 plus 2 plus 2. 10y equals 5. Divide by 10, divide by 10. Y equals 1/2. You see how I reduced that real quick? So now, sadly, I have a fraction. I'm going to substitute this 1/2 back in to that y. So x minus 1/2 equals -1 plus 1/2 plus 1/2. -1 plus 1/2 is -1/2. X equals -1/2. So my ordered pair is -1/2, +1/2. Doodle-doo, that's the answer. All right, here is a word problem. It says, you are, and this is something that nobody would ever do. You are running a business, I think it was a civil rights museum, and you sold $1,590 worth of tickets. 320 people came in. Adult tickets were $6, kid tickets were $4, but you don't know how many adults and how many kids you sold. I highly doubt it. So we make an equation. We need 2 equations if we're going to solve it by linear systems. So one equation is your kids plus your adults is all your people. That's one equation. The other one is $6 times your, those are the adults. Your adults plus your kids is the people. 6 times your number of adults plus 4 times your number of kids equal $1,590. So for both of these, we're going to solve for y. So we did minus x to both sides, and we got -x plus 321. And then we did here minus 6x to both sides, divided by 4 to all of them. And our second equation, solving for y, is -6x over 4 plus 397.5. Put them both in your calculator under the y equals button. Then hit graph. Then do second trace 5. So second trace 5. And then enter, and it will tell you the answer. I'm going to have a separate video on how to do this with the camera zoomed in on the calculator. Just know this is way easier using your calculator. And I love this. Enter. I feel like Dorothy clicking her heels together 3 times. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Da-da! Magic. She's home. Instead it's enter. Da-da! Magic. There's the answer written on your calculator. All right. Math is great. See you next time.